Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Great Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Well, here it is another Wednesday, and today's topic of discussion is what it's like to be gay in America. So, what is it like to be gay in America today? We have so many things going on, it's hard to keep track of them all. There's gay marriage being advanced by the Supreme Court. There's discrimination in the workplace, which we've discussed at length before. There's personal relations with other gay people. There's the gay rights movement. There's so many different things going on with gays. It's hard to know what it's like to be gay in America. What does that mean? What does it mean to be a gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender person in America today? Well, I will attempt to answer that question. This is a great time to be alive, by the way. What a great time to be alive when we have a historical Supreme Court ruling. It's a historical event, and we're just so proud and happy to be alive at this time in history. We're making so much progress, but there's still so much more to be done. And the things that we need to do, first of all, we need to end discrimination in the workplace, because discrimination in the workplace is one of the biggest things. There's also discrimination in schools. What do we do about discrimination in schools? Well, we need to gird our loins and prepare ourselves for the battles ahead, because there's some real uphill legal battles to be won, and we have to go uphill before we can go downhill. So I think that the most important topic is discrimination, because it's so ubiquitous and it happens all the time. Discrimination in America, and it's all based on the Bible. It's all based on that silly book, the Bible, saying that gay sex is wrong and that gays should not practice gay sex. It's all based on that book. So, and what about lesbians? The lesbians aren't even mentioned in the Bible. So, we need to move forward, and part of moving forward, I believe, is leaving that silly book behind, leaving that silly Bible behind, and turning to alternative religions like goddess worship. Because the goddess is accepting of everyone. She accepts all her children, no matter what their sexual orientation is. So, and she doesn't condemn either. She doesn't condemn anyone for their sexual orientation. So the goddess is very open and very kind and very welcoming. Just very welcoming. So I believe that turning to alternative religions like goddess worship is the way forward for us in this country and in the world. And so leaving behind those silly religious words in that silly book that condemns gays and causes all the discrimination and prejudice we see today. I mean, look at it. Look at all the discrimination and all the prejudice we've seen. It's unwieldy, the amount of prejudice there's been, and the amount of discrimination that goes on. It's been it's been out of hand. It's gotten out of hand. So we need to do something about it right away. And the first thing is leaving behind that silly book, leaving that aside. The second thing we need to do is become like ninjas, infiltrating the workplace like ninjas, moving around stealthily. Now you can be out if you want to be, but it's in some cases it's not a pleasant ride to be out. In some cases it can be very unpleasant to be out in the workplace. That's why we need to be like ninjas. It requires stealth in order to survive the trials and tribulations of the workplace. Require stealth to survive in order to survive. So ninja tactics, stealth required, but also ending discrimination when it rears its ugly head. We need to get the Supreme Court to rule on discrimination in the workplace, because that happens more often than not. Because I don't see Congress passing any laws saying don't discriminate against sexual orientation. They're not about to pass that sort of a law, so the Supreme Court has to weigh in. And when it comes to interpreting the law, and when it comes to special interpretations of the law, the Supreme Court reigns supreme. They have the final say in all of these matters. So we need to get the Supreme Court to rule on discrimination in the workplace, so we can end discrimination in the workplace based on sexual orientation, because it's gotten really bad. It's gotten serious, people. It's really bad discrimination. So if we can end the discrimination in the workplace that we as Americans face, then I don't know if it's any better in other countries. Probably better. It might be better in France or Great Britain for gays and lesbians. Don't know. Don't know for certain if it's any better in Europe. But I do know this. I know for a fact that there's discrimination here in America, and that it's severe, and that we need to do something about it so that we can have a brighter, happier future for all of our gay and lesbian friends. I'm Sarah Jane Alpha Wolf, signing off. Have a great week.